Well, already a busy moment right here in Nigeria 2015 studios here on Channels Television. If you're just joining us, we have a whole lot for you. You can be part of this discussion. Don't forget our social media platforms are available for you to air your views on this particular program. You can tweet at us using the hashtag Nigeria 2015 or Channels TV. And a whole lot of other issues you can do. If you have over 140 characters to send in your messages, recall you can't have that on your Twitter. You can now send it via email, nigeria2015@channelstv.com. We just need to know how important these elections are to you, so you make your voice heard and tell us what's happening around you, especially on election day, and in fact from now. What you find there on your screen, you can get to send us and get to watch our top stories on our website, channelstv.com. There's it on your site, and of course on youtube.com/channelsweb. You can visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on your mobile device, anywhere you are at the moment, anywhere in the world, as long as you have some data connection on your device. You can get to join the Channels TV live on your mobile device. The Channels TV app for Android, iOS, and Windows phones are there. You can pick them up from your respective stores. We urge you to please interact with these platforms and features on your device. We also have Professor Oyebode with us live in the studios, and we're still talking about elections in Nigeria, specifically as we move towards the 2015 elections. By the way, we're already counting hours, and so we're already pretty much closer than close as it would seem. But for now, Professor Oyebode, we've been talking about a couple of other issues. We've looked at some of the body language and as well real language coming from the players, trying to compare and contrast with what has been even from the First Republic to this very moment. And I like when you tried to look at money and politics, the importance of money in politics in our country, and also the flamboyant nature of our campaigns, which is the key thing. And that should actually remove violence if we try to look at the beauty side of it, which you highlighted. Violence, elections, coming for this renewed talk of putting pen to paper, which amounts to nothing because no one is held accountable at the end of the day. How can we make them, you're also a lawyer, an international one at that, so how can we make these men stand by their words?
Well, hitherto we've relied on moral suasion. But you know, the Electoral Act has strict provisions against malfeasance, you know, the infelicities of politicking in Nigeria, resort to violence, even limits on money that can be spent. If you look at the Electoral Act, all that is there. So it's a question of poor enforcement. And who I'm going to blame now is INEC, because INEC is the tsar of our elections. The Electoral Act empowers INEC to crack the whip and get people who have violated the laws tried or prosecuted. But one thing which again we have to face up to, which the confab, I'm sorry I have to keep referring to the confab.
No, by all means do.
Okay, the confab recommended and we supported the suggestion by the Waste Commission to have an electoral offences tribunal, so that people will know that when you break the law, there will be the day of judgment. But today, people break the law and nothing happens.
Well, it's one thing. Some people will say that it's one thing for the law to empower you. It's another thing for you to have capacity to be able to do what the law says you should do. Do you think that INEC has the capacity?
Well, Jaga complained that he had about 800,000 people to prosecute over 2011.
That's a lot of offenders.
Over 800,000, and I think they could prosecute how many? I can't remember the figures now. So your point is well taken, the capacity. So maybe we have to give greater empowerment to INEC, give them resources to hire batteries of lawyers who will do the prosecuting. INEC can't prosecute itself. I know there are lawyers in the commission, Layo Lorode and a few others, who Tommy, Mike Guinea, but that's not their job per se. The police should actually take charge of prosecuting criminals.
We'll come back and look at that, and I'm quite sure by then Captain Umar Ali will join us, because violence and all of this is one issue that definitely people must focus on and see how we can harness that. We'll go to Jos. Over the years, we've seen how Jos has been featured in elections, and even when it's not election year, we have seen Jos
communal clashes,
communal clashes, which brings the security perspective into all of that.